Welcome back to Faisla2011, and we have 3 candidates from NDP. My next question is to Rayad. Rayad, recently Liberals promised incentives to small businesses and other businesses for hiring new immigrants and newer Canadians. Most of our viewers they fall in that category. What do you think of that idea? Shouldn't we all be jumping with joy with that thing? Because finding the first job is the hardest thing for new immigrants.
Of course. Now, of course, the immigrants are a very important part of our society. My family immigrated here almost 25 years ago or so. But I don't think the immigrants right now need a handout of only strictly rewarding companies for giving them a job. More easier access to have their skills legitimized here in Canada, to have their skills licensed here in Canada. I think that the immigrants, all that do come to this country, do bring skills, do bring education, do bring experience that will benefit our society, and that they will be able to move forward and compete and survive in our society. As long as we can keep the programs of settlement adaptation and helping licensed, let's say medical practitioners, for example. We have an issue in the hospitals. We have a number of doctors coming to our country. They can't practice. They end up...
Well, let me be devil's advocate. Liberals have the best record in accrediting foreign qualified medical professionals. That's on record. It's better than the Ontario New Democrats when they were in power. It's better than the Conservatives. They have done something. It may not be perfect, but they have done it. They have come up with a Fairness Commission. Once again, a baby step, still a step. But my biggest worry is that when we look at the Ontario New Democrats platform, there is no mention of this.
The immigration.
The settlement, the acceptance of foreign credentials. We asked that question to Andrea, and her answer was that yet to come. Wait for the next episode. What do you want to do? Would you champion the issue?
The issue will come up. Andrea will present our platform on immigration during the period. It will be out in the next few days.
Is it not important enough to have it before the red period, like the Liberals did?
No, of course it's important.
The Conservatives did?
Of course it's important. It has to be near the top of the agenda, or at the top of the agenda, because we're a country built on immigration. We have a very high ethnic minority, but Andrea has decided, and our party has decided, that you could give its importance that it's being in the red period. Not only mentioned in July or in June, but now while people are concentrated on what's going on in politics in our province and not just connecting everything back to what's going on federally, that is just as important if it came out tomorrow as if it came out in June. All our policies are equally as important. They all have to be
largest concentration of Muslims in Canada, Don Valley West. I've been a candidate twice in Don Valley West. What are the real issues that made you run in Don Valley West, the local issues?
There are a lot of issues. There's one high crime rate, and as you know, they were trying to ban the Jummah namaz in the Valley Park Middle School, which is actually an issue as well, which I think that everyone should have equal rights. And there are a few groups, I would say, that are against it.
Are you in favor of it?
Is NDP in favor of that?
Depends which side you're talking about.
Do you support the Friday prayers in that school?
Everyone has the rights to pray, or that shouldn't be a problem. Every religion, every citizen of Canada, every person in Canada have their right to pray. Doesn't matter if it's Muslim, Hindu, Jewish. That doesn't matter. And I am on the side of yes, they should pray because there is
in an educational institution.
But they are not using anything from the school. They're just using space from the school, but they are not using no staff. A person comes in, alim comes in, who leads the namaz. He will lead the namaz, pray his namaz, and leave. So there is no school equipments used, no school staff used. And the thing is
that school premises are used.
Yes, that's the only thing that are used.
Paul, York Southwestern, interesting riding to watch, not only because you're the candidate there, but also May 2011, first time ever, NDP Member of Parliament.
Well, not the first time
Oh,
ever.
I'm so sorry.
I was a year old when David Lewis lost the seat in 1974. So as I told our new MP the night of his election, Mike Sullivan.
Oh, I was
that
talking about this century, but that's okay. So, Mike Sullivan, the MP.
Yes.
What are the local issues that can win you the election again in York Southwest?
Well, I refer to what I've been hearing at the doorstep all summer, and it really is the number one issue in my riding. Really is affordability, and how do we put a cap on cost of living? And people in my riding have been hit very, very hard by increases, and the HST, just to get back to that, has made things worse. My riding is the second poorest in all of Ontario when measured by household income. We have a larger than average number of seniors. We have a larger than average number of folks living on assistance. Every dollar counts, and people are really meaningfully looking for some relief. And we are the one party that has consistently talked about that. We've had some other parties jump on the bandwagon, but their positions have been very, very inconsistent and unclear. And I speak specifically of Mr. Hudak and his party, who seem to change their tune depending on who was listening. We've been very, very consistent, and that is the number one issue at the door. I'll also say that seniors' care also keeps coming up at the door, and I have seen firsthand seniors living in some very, very deplorable conditions, and it goes back to the need for a home care, an aging, a seniors aging strategy that will take us through the next 20, 25 years, because if we do not have all of the pieces of that puzzle in the proper place, we are going to have a significant crisis with the aging population. In the McGuinty government, they have dropped the ball. Their aging at home strategy is in tatters, which is why they've now come back with Plan C or Plan D they've announced in recent days. Those are two significant issues that I see in my riding. And I'll throw in a third, the need for better public transit in Northwest Toronto. People need to be able to get to work in a reasonable amount of time. They need to get home, need to be able to get their kids to school. We are lacking, and our party has said we must go back to what we had in the past, and that was the provincial government picking up 50% of the operating costs of transit systems across this province. Not just TTC, but Mississauga Transit, Brampton Transit, all of the transit operating systems across the province under our plan would receive 50% of their operating costs, and in return, there'd be a fare freeze for 4 years. That's something that folks can take to the bank that will save them money each and every time they hop on a bus or on a streetcar or on a subway.
When and if the NDP makes the government, right?
Okay, right. You are from Mississauga, Streetsville. What are the local issues in that riding?
They tend to mirror Paul's writing very much from what I've been hearing. When I've been talking to the constituents, transit has come up. It's very expensive. It's very long to get to Toronto. A lot of the people here do work in Toronto, do study in Toronto. They face issues of how many different fares they have to pay, how long it takes, how the accessibility of the transit system itself. Another issue that has come up is education. I have a university not in my riding, but just bordering it, and I've had a lot of students telling me that tuition fees are becoming way too expensive. People do not have the opportunity to study anymore. It's coming way out of reach. We need to ensure that if people are willing to put in the time, put in the effort to continue their education, that we are going to support that. And
So what's NDP's plan for the students? What are they going to do for people like Khalid who are going to university right now? What plan do you guys have?
Khalid is going to Queen's Park.
He sure is.
Well, again, that policy is going to be released in the next few days.
And that comes me to Paul. You guys released all your policies a few months back. Liberals are coming every day. They've got a new policy coming out, and it just seems like NDP and conservative policies are sort of like old news.
No, that's not the case at all. We over the past number of weeks, our leader has made significant announcements on the environment. For example, we've rolled out a number of planks over the past number of weeks, and we'll keep some stuff coming. Most people pay attention to the issues when the writ is dropped and when the campaign is on. And I think we're actually going to be able to do a better job of highlighting these issues by holding some stuff back. And so you will see more announcements coming from us. But we've been very, very consistent. We've been very, very positive and
So are we
practical,
going
and we'll
to-
continue.
Are we going to hear stuff which is caters to immigrants, to students? Is that something we can
I,
look
thi-
forward to?
I think that your viewers at home are going to be very, very impressed by what the NDP has to say over the next couple of weeks. And I think
Okay.
many of them are going to vote for us in much greater numbers than they have in the past.
Okay, well, we've got a lot of things that we discussed and we've run out of time, so let's give each one of you a minute to talk to the viewers and tell them why they should vote for you. Well, let's start with you, Khalid.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Khalid Ahmed, or I'm 19 years old. I'm running to be the New Democrat MPP for Don Valley West. And the reason I think that I should be elected is because I think for tomorrow's future. I am tomorrow's future. I think for your children's and your grandchildren's. And that's what I would like to bring a positive change.
To Raed now. Raed, what's your message to our viewers?
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Raed Ayad, the Mississauga Street Soul MPP candidate. My message is that I am the son of the neighborhood. I grew up in the neighborhood. I really care about the neighborhood. I'm doing this really from the heart. I really want to be able to give back to my community, give back to my constituents, and be accountable and representative of the issues and the plights of the constituents of Mississauga Street Soul, and to bring us forward into a new generation of politics and governance in this country and in this province. Thank you.
Well said.
Thank you, Raed. Paul, your turn.
My message is this: October the 6th, Ontarians and voters in York South-Weston have a choice. They can vote for a party that will deliver real, positive, practical change. That's the NDP. We know that recently we lost a great Canadian, Jack Layton, passed away, but Jack left us, I think, quite an important message that we can get things done. And don't let anyone tell you that we can't. That politics can matter, it can be good, it can be positive. And I'm asking especially those folks who are fed up and frustrated, vote for what you believe in, vote for things like love and generosity and kindness and optimism and with hope in your heart. And if you do that, I'm convinced you'll be voting for the NDP October the 6th. Thank you.
Well, thank you all for watching Faisla 2011. Today we had 3 candidates from NDP, 2 of them very, very young, and the third one is young. 38, make me feel ancient. Please send us your questions and comments on info@tv1canada.com, and we're going to be having other candidates on this show, so keep watching.